The flickering neon sign outside casts red and blue shadows across grimy windows. Inside, the air is thick with cigarette smoke and the stench of stale beer. A handful of rough-looking patrons huddle over their drinks, speaking in low voices. At the far corner of the bar sits Sarah Reeves, late 30s, wearing a worn leather jacket over a faded t-shirt. Her short dark hair is practical, her hands wrapped around a glass of whiskey. Scars trace along her knuckles, old wounds from another life. Her eyes are alert, constantly scanning, even as she appears relaxed. 4 men enter, mercenaries by the look of them. Derek, 40s, muscular, crew cut, leads them, flanked by Marcus, 30s, wiry, scarred face. Tony, late 20s, cocky, and Vic, 50s, grizzled veteran. They wear tactical vests over civilian clothes, holsters visible. Derek's eyes land on Sarah. He nudges Marcus and grins. Derek, well, what do we have here? Little lady drinking all alone? Sarah doesn't look up. She takes a slow sip of her whiskey. Sarah, not interested. Tony, laughing. Hear that? She's not interested. Maybe she doesn't know who we work for. The bartender, an elderly man with trembling hands, quietly moves toward the back room. The other patrons suddenly find reasons to leave, coins clinking on tables as they shuffle out. Derek, approaching Sarah's table, see, here's the thing. We're looking for someone. Former military. Word is she's been asking questions about our operation. Questions that could get people hurt. Sarah, still not looking up. Sounds like you have a problem. Marcus, we think you might be that problem, sweetheart. Sarah finally looks up, meeting Derek's eyes with a calm that's more unsettling than any threat. Sarah, I'm going to give you one chance. Turn around. Walk out that door. Forget you saw me. Tony laughs loudly, slapping the table. Tony, oh man. She's tough. I like this one. Maybe we should. Sarah, interrupting, voice steady. I warned you. I'm a Marine combat master. 12 years active duty. 2 tours in Fallujah, 1 in Helmand province. 3 years training force recon operatives. If you know what those words mean, you'll leave. Now, silence falls over the bar. Derek studies her face, looking for a bluff. He sees only cold certainty. Vic, to Derek quietly, boss, maybe we should. Derek, cutting him off. She's one woman. There's 4 of us. I don't care if she's a Marine, Navy SEAL, or the damn Terminator. He reaches for Sarah's shoulder. What happens next is almost too fast to follow. Sarah moves like water, fluid, inevitable. She catches Derek's wrist, twisting it inward while driving her elbow into his solar plexus. As he doubles over, gasping, she brings her knee up into his face with surgical precision. Blood explodes from his nose. Marcus reaches for his gun. Sarah's already moving. She kicks the table forward into Marcus's legs, sending him sprawling. In one smooth motion, she's on her feet, closing the distance before he can draw his weapon. A palm strike to his throat leaves him choking on the floor. Tony finally gets his gun out. Sarah pivots, using Derek's stumbling body as a shield for a split second. She grabs a beer bottle from the table and hurls it with deadly accuracy. It shatters against Tony's gun hand, making him drop the weapon with a yelp of pain. Only Vic remains standing, his gun half drawn. Sarah looks at him. Sarah, don't. Vic sees Derek unconscious on the floor, Marcus gasping for air, Tony cradling his bleeding hand. He sees Sarah standing there, barely breathing hard, her stance that of someone who's done this 1,000 times. Slowly, Vic raises his hands and backs toward the door. Vic, this isn't over. Sarah, tell your boss. Stay away from the Martinez family. Their son died serving this country. They don't deserve to be harassed because he witnessed your trafficking operation before he was killed. Vic, you don't know what you're getting into, lady. Sarah, I'm already in it. Vic drags Tony toward the exit, casting one last look at his fallen comrades before disappearing into the night. Sarah turns back to the bar where the elderly bartender has emerged, eyes wide. Bartender, miss, are you okay? Sarah, calmly, call the police. Tell them these men tried to rob the place. They'll find outstanding warrants on at least 2 of them. Bartender, but what about? Sarah, don't mention me. Trust me, it's better this way. She picks up her jacket, leaves 2 20s on the bar, and walks out into the night. Sarah walks through the shadows, her breath forming small clouds in the cold air. She pulls out a burner phone and dials. Sarah, it's me. They made their move. Yeah, I'm fine. But Garcia needs to know his people found me. They're getting desperate. We need to move up the timeline. She listens, jaw tightening. Sarah, I know the risks. I've known them from the start. These people killed a Marine, and they're using their operation to fund something bigger. I didn't come out of retirement to walk away now. She ends the call and keeps walking, disappearing into the urban maze. Sarah stands in the darkness, studying the building's layout through night vision goggles. Shipping crates are stacked like a maze. According to her intel, this is where Garcia's people store merchandise before distribution. Not drugs, but weapons. Military-grade weapons being funneled to domestic terror cells. Her earpiece crackles. Agent Morrison, VO. Through earpiece. Reeves. You have eyes on the target? 3 guards
Sarah.
outside, probably 6 to 8 inside. I'm going in. Morrison, VO negative. Wait for backup. We're 10 minutes out. Sarah, there's a van pulling up now. If they load up and leave, we lose them and the weapons. Morrison, VO, Sarah. That's an order. She pulls out the earpiece and pockets it. Sarah moves like a shadow, crossing open ground in seconds. The first guard never hears her coming. A chokehold, precisely applied, he's unconscious in 4 seconds. She lowers him gently to the ground. The second guard turns at the sound of footsteps. Sarah's already there, disarming him with a wrist lock that makes his gun clatter to the pavement. A strike to the side of his neck drops him instantly. The third guard sees her coming and manages to shout a warning before Sarah's flying kick catches him in the chest, slamming him back against the metal door. He slides down, unconscious. Guard VO. From inside. What was that? Check it out. The door bursts open. Sarah is pressed against the wall beside it. As 2 guards rush out, she moves. An elbow to the first one's temple. A sweep kick that sends the second one sprawling. Before he can recover, she's on him, pressure point strike rendering him limp. She enters the warehouse. Inside, men scramble for weapons among the crates. Sarah counts 6 hostiles, just as she predicted. Garcia, a man in an expensive suit, stepping from the shadows, the famous Sarah Reeves. The Martinez boy's friend. Such loyalty to a dead man. Sarah, Corporal Martinez was worth 10 of you. Garcia, he saw something he shouldn't have. He made his choice when he went to the authorities. Sarah, he did his duty. Something you wouldn't understand. Garcia signals his men. They spread out, surrounding Sarah in a semicircle. Garcia, I've heard the stories. Marine combat master. Very impressive. But stories don't stop bullets, Ms. Reeves. I have 6 armed men. You have what? Pride? Discipline? Sarah assesses the tactical situation in microseconds. Cover positions, exit routes, weapons within reach, the enemy's relative skill levels based on how they hold their guns. Sarah, I warned your men at the bar. I'll warn you now. Stand down. Federal agents are on the way. You're done either way. Don't make it worse. Garcia, I think not. He nods. His men raise their weapons. Sarah moves before they can fire. She dives behind a crate as bullets tear through the air where she stood. Wood splinters explode around her. She rolls, comes up with a piece of pipe from the ground, hurls it at the nearest gunman. It strikes his weapon, knocking it from his hands. She charges him before he can recover, using him as a human shield as his companions try to get a clear shot. A palm strike to his jaw puts him down. 2 men approach from her left. Sarah grabs a wooden board leaning against a crate and swings it like a staff. Years of Marine Corps martial arts program training flow through her movements. Block, strike, disarm. 1 man goes down. The second lunges with a knife. Sarah sidesteps, redirecting his momentum and sending him crashing into a stack of crates. He doesn't get up. 3 men left, plus Garcia. They're more cautious now, keeping distance, trying to coordinate. Sarah is constantly moving, using cover, never staying still. She finds a length of chain on the ground, improvised weapon. She spins it once, twice, building momentum. One guard leans out to shoot. The chain whips through the air, wrapping around his gun and yanking it from his grip. Before he can react, Sarah is there, the chain now used as a grappling tool. She pulls him off balance and delivers a devastating knee strike. Garcia, backing away. Enough. Carlos. Finish this. A massive man, Carlos, steps forward. He's easily 6'5", 300 pounds of muscle. Former enforcer, by the look of him. He cracks his knuckles. Carlos, I've been waiting for this. He charges like a bull. Sarah doesn't retreat. She sidesteps at the last possible second, using his momentum against him, guiding him face first into a concrete pillar. He staggers but doesn't fall. Impressive. Carlos turns, more cautious now. He's fought trained opponents before. They circle each other. He throws a haymaker. Sarah ducks under it, driving her fist into his kidney. Once, twice, 3 times. Precision strikes, targeting nerve clusters. Carlos grunts but stays standing. He catches Sarah with a backhand that sends her spinning. She tastes blood. He follows up with a grab, lifting her off her feet. She goes with the momentum, using it to wrap her legs around his arm and apply an armbar. But he's too strong. He slams her into the ground, breaking the hold. They both roll to their feet. Carlos, you're good. But I'm better. Sarah, spitting blood. I doubt that. She feints left, goes right, slides between his legs, and comes up behind him. Before he can turn, she's on his back, arm around his throat, legs locked around his torso. Rear naked choke, perfectly applied. He thrashes, trying to throw her off, slamming backward into walls, crates, anything to dislodge her. Sarah holds on. 10 seconds. 15. 20. Carlos drops to his knees. 25 seconds. He falls forward. 30 seconds. Unconscious. Sarah releases him and stands, breathing hard now. Garcia has a gun pointed at her. Garcia, impressive. Truly. But it ends here. Sarah, you're not a killer, Garcia. You're a businessman. A coward who hires killers. Garcia, perhaps. But I'm a coward with a gun. Sarah, you're a coward with an empty magazine. Garcia pulls the trigger. Click. Nothing. His eyes widen. Sarah allows herself a small smile. Sarah checked it while Carlos was busy. You should keep better track of your weapons. Behind Garcia, the warehouse doors burst open. Agent Morrison and a tactical team flood in, weapons drawn. Morrison, federal agents. Hands in the air. Garcia slowly raises his hands, defeated. Morrison approaches Sarah, shaking his head. Morrison, you're insane. You know that, right? Sarah, I told you I had it handled. Morrison, you also told me you'd wait for backup. Sarah, I waited. You were just slow. Around them, agents secure the scene, cuffing Garcia's men. Another agent approaches Morrison. Agent Torres, sir, you need to see this. The manifests show weapons shipments going to 6 different cells across 3 states. This is bigger than we thought. Morrison, to Sarah. Because of you, we just prevented potential domestic terrorist attacks. The Bureau is going to want a full debrief. Sarah, tomorrow. Tonight, I have somewhere to be. Sarah stands before a gravestone. Corporal James
Honor.
Martinez, an elderly couple approaches. 1995 to
Maria and
2024.
Roberto
Martinez, a hero who served James's parents. Maria carries flowers. Maria, Sarah. We didn't know you'd be here. Sarah, I come every week. I owe him that. Roberto, the police said those men who were harassing us were arrested. Federal charges. They won't bother us anymore. Sarah nods, not mentioning her role in it. Maria, James spoke about you often. His training instructor. He said you were the toughest Marine he ever met. Said you saved his life twice in Helmand. Sarah, he was a good soldier. A good man. Roberto, he'd be proud of you. Whatever you did, thank you. They place the flowers at the grave and walk away, hand in hand. Sarah remains, staring at the stone. Sarah, quietly, I kept my promise, James. They'll pay for what they did. And your family is safe. She snaps to attention, rendering a crisp salute. Sarah Semper Fi, Marine. Small, sparse, functional. Military medals in a frame on the wall. A photograph of Sarah in dress blues, younger, smiling, a different person. She pours a glass of whiskey and sits by the window, looking out at the city lights. Her phone rings. Morrison. Sarah answering Reeves. Morrison, VO. Just wanted you to know. Garcia is talking. He's giving up his entire network in exchange for a plea deal. We're going to dismantle the whole operation. Sarah, good. Morrison, VO. There's something else. The Bureau is impressed. They want to offer you a consultant position. Training, tactical operations, special cases. You'd be good at it. Sarah, I'll think about it. Morrison, though. Sarah. What you did, going in alone like that, it was reckless. But it was also the bravest thing I've seen in 20 years with the Bureau. Sarah, I did what needed to be done. Morrison, VO. That's what Marines do. Isn't it? Sarah, slight smile, semper fidelis. Always faithful. She ends the call and takes a sip of whiskey, staring out at the night. Young Corporal Martinez is pinned down by enemy fire, bleeding from a leg wound. Enemy fighters are closing in. Sergeant Sarah Reeves appears, moving through the chaos like she was born for it. She provides covering fire, drags Martinez to cover, applies pressure to his wound. Young Martinez, panicking. I can't move, Sergeant. Leave me. Young Sarah, Marines don't leave Marines behind. You're going home. I promise you that. She fights off 3 attackers while protecting Martinez, each movement efficient and lethal. When reinforcements arrive, both are still alive. Young Martinez, you saved my life. Young Sarah, and one day you'll save someone else's. That's how it works. Sarah touches the dog tags hanging around her neck, her own and a second set. James Martinez's tags. She closes her eyes, remembering. A knock at the door breaks her reverie. She approaches cautiously, hand near the concealed weapon at her back. She checks the peephole. It's a young woman, early 20s, nervous, looking around as if afraid of being followed. Sarah opens the door a crack, chain still engaged. Sarah, can I help you? Young woman, are you Sarah Reeves? The Marine? Sarah, who's asking? Young woman, my name is Elena. Elena Vasquez. My brother, he's in trouble. He witnessed something bad. The people involved, they're threatening our family. Someone said you help people like us. Sarah studies her. The fear in her eyes, the trembling hands, the desperation. She's seen it before. Sarah, sighing, come in. She opens the door fully. Elena enters, clutching a worn envelope. Elena, I don't have much money, but I can pay you something. Sarah, interrupting, keep your money. Tell me what happened. Elena begins to speak, her story spilling out. Sarah listens, her expression hardening with each detail. When Elena finishes, Sarah stands and walks to her closet. She pulls out a gear bag, tactical equipment carefully maintained, ready to go at a moment's notice. Elena, what are you going to do? Sarah, checking her equipment, what I do best. Elena, but there are so many of them. The men who came to our house, they had guns. They said they'd kill my whole family if Diego talks to the police. Sarah turns, and Elena sees something in her eyes. Not anger, but cold purpose. Sarah, then, I'll just have to make sure they can't hurt anyone ever again. Elena, how? You're just one person. Sarah allows herself a small, dangerous smile. Sarah, I warned them. I'm a Marine combat master. They never listen. She slings the bag over her shoulder and heads for the door. Sarah, over her shoulder, stay here. Lock the door. Don't open it for anyone but me. I'll be back before morning. Elena, how can you be sure? Sarah, because I made a promise a long time ago. Marines don't leave people behind. And we always keep our promises. She walks out into the night, ready for whatever comes next. Sarah moves through the shadows, a warrior returning to battle. The city is full of predators, but tonight, they're being hunted. Somewhere in the distance, sirens wail. The city never sleeps, and neither does justice. This screenplay explores themes of duty, sacrifice, and the warrior's code that doesn't end when the uniform comes off. Sarah Reeves represents the countless veterans who continue serving their communities after their military service ends, using their skills to protect those who cannot protect themselves. The combat sequences are grounded in real Marine Corps Martial Arts Program, MCMAP, techniques, emphasizing efficiency, tactical awareness, and the use of available resources rather than Hollywood theatrics. Every move Sarah makes reflects years of training and combat experience. The story acknowledges that being a warrior isn't about seeking violence, but about being prepared to face it when protecting others requires it. Sarah's greatest weapon isn't her combat skills. It's her unwavering commitment to the promise she made to stand for those who cannot stand for themselves.